Barely 48 hours to the initial deadline for the return of the redesigned notes, the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele has informed Nigerians that the deadline has been extended to February the 10th. Our correspondent tells us more.
In response to complaints that millions of people have been unable to obtain replacements, endangering commercial activity and livelihoods weeks before the presidential elections, Nigeria's central bank has delayed the phase-out of outdated high-value banknotes for 10 days. The new deadline is now February the 10th instead of the former 31st January deadline. Mr. Emefiele spoke in Naira, Katsina State after a meeting with the president, who is in his home state for official duties.
Aside from those holding illicit and stolen Naira in their homes for speculative purpose, we do aim to give all Nigerians that have Naira legitimately earned and trapped the opportunity to deposit their legitimately trapped monies at the CBN for exchange. Based on the foregoing, we have sought and obtained Mr. President's approval for the following. 1. A 10-day extension of the deadline from January 31, 2023 to February 10, 2023 to allow for collection of more old notes legitimately held by Nigerians and achieve more success in cash swap in our rural areas, in our villages and communities, after which all old notes outside the CBN loses their legal tender.
A week before this new development, the CBN governor told newsmen that there will be no going back on the previous deadline, January 31st, 2023.
He says reports suggest that many people want the deadline to be shifted for reasons ranging from their inability to gain access to the new notes or deposit their old currencies. I must say here that unfortunately I don't have good news for those who feel that we should shift the deadline. My apologies.
In order to combat counterfeiting and limit the usage of cash in Africa's largest economy, the central bank announced a redesign of 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes in October 2022. Politicians and ordinary individuals in the country where the cash economy is still very active have criticized the bank's handling of the initiative. As the deadline drew near, people claimed that although banks continued to print the old notes, companies, especially stores, were refusing to accept them.
It's for us to be able to take all our old notes to the bank so that anybody that wants to come and do any transaction with us here, it's either you're doing a transfer or you're doing a POS transaction with us for now. Because even the notes, it's only few we've been collecting. Most of the customers still come with a lot of the notes.
Many of the country's population live in rural areas with no access to banks where they can exchange the old notes. A cash swap scheme to help them do so via banking agents in their communities was announced a week before the initial deadline.